Hi everybody, this is Jack Benedict and welcome to more coverage of IUP Crimson Hawks football. We've got Coach Paul Tortorella with us right now after a 26-10 win for the Crimson Hawks on Saturday in a beautiful game, homecoming with a lot of people on hand in the Coal Bowl. Coach, let's first of all talk about, well, you had the whole thing's wrapped up into one. You have Cal, you have the Coal Bowl, you have homecoming, you had great weather. That's what you expect on a day like that, and then you had to overcome some early mistakes in the game, but your thoughts first of all on what turned out to be a really great ball game.
Well, I think we had a great first quarter. We had made it a point that Cal was a really good first quarter team, and we went up 12-0 in the first quarter. And then we had some things didn't go our way in the second quarter. Couple mistakes, obviously the turnover on our own 3-yard line. We had a touchdown that we just didn't execute. It was right there to Dwayne Brown, a little overthrown, tough catch. And then, we forced a field goal at the end of the half. So we were still up 12-10 going in. Lost a little bit of momentum because we had it in the first quarter because we really came out firing. So we went at halftime and, our guys, it was everybody's a little down, and basically we said, hey, you're not going to be up by 28 points at halftime every week. Let's just go out, play the second half the way we can play, have a great second half, play our game, play the right way. First half's done and over with, and let's take control of the game. Well, we came out, we got a 3-and-out on defense, and then we drove right down the field and scored on offense and went up 19-10, and then from there we kind of took over the game. I think defensively, our staff, tremendous job. Our players, we could have still been out there playing, and they still might not have scored in the second half. That's how well we were playing. Our defensive front was unbelievable. Easterling, Tillman, Averett, really all of them. They could not handle our front, and it affected the quarterback a great deal. Offensively, we just missed on 2 or 3 plays where we have 26 points, and very easily we could have 42 or 49 points. We didn't play well in the kicking game. We're going to have to get some things straightened out there for this week. But we're really happy with, I was really happy with not only how our players responded at the start of the second half, and also our coaches kept with the plan, didn't panic, and then kind of took the game over. And it probably, could have been a lot worse, but I give Cal credit. They didn't quit at the end there. They still kept playing hard, but it was probably a little closer than the game wasn't as close as the score showed, I guess.
Yeah. Well, anytime you're playing a team, Cal's going to give it their all against IUP, but they came in with averaging 41 points a game, and all that yardage that they stacked up, and you hold them to 283. Overall, and that is a credit to your overall. You mentioned the front, but the overall defense just played tremendously strong second half.
Well, yeah, I mean the thing that we talked about, there was not one pass thrown where we weren't defending it. There was not a guy wide open. On offense, we've got guys open all over the field. Defensively, we contested every pass that was caught. And Green, eight's a big guy, good receiver, made some catches. We were all over him. We had no breakdowns. We really didn't have a guy running free wide open all day. And then the thing that probably started the whole thing was in the first quarter, we totally shut the run down and made them one-dimensional. After the first quarter, I think they decided that, hey, they're not going to let us run the ball. We're going to have to win throwing it. And their best players, the quarterback and the receiver. So in the second half, we did a great job of kind of taking that receiver away and make him go to some other things. I don't know how many catches he had in the second half, but he hurt us a little bit in the first half. And I thought Smitty, all the defensive coaches, our offensive staff did a great job making some adjustments in the run game, and we started running that outside zone in the second half. Didn't run it a whole lot in the first half, and they couldn't stop it. I mean, we had the ball for almost 10 minutes on that one drive in the fourth quarter. We didn't score, but we used 10 minutes of the clock.
Yeah, exactly. That ball possession was great. And you had to make some adjustments early, too, in the running game because Samir came out.
Right. He went out midway through the first quarter, so we started rolling our other 3 guys, Justice Evans, Malik, who scored the touchdown on the shovel pass, and Dwayne Brown, who scored a touchdown in the run game down on the goal line. But all 3 of them really played well. We kind of split, They all had about 10 carries each when Samir went down. And then Lenny had a couple runs also. He ran, and we had that reverse to Allen. I thought our offensive coaches were on top of it every time there was a opportunity to, make a big play. Scheme-wise, we had it called at the right time.
You know what was good too was an opportunity to see Walt come in, make a catch, and then you worked him on a reverse. Even if he doesn't do anything and he's in there, that has to alert the defense that we know, this guy's an all-conference player. So that's another little weapon that maybe just isn't picked up, but you guys are certainly aware of him.
Yes, Walt does that. They've got to worry. He hasn't played all year, and all of a sudden he's playing, so they have to account for him and worry about him. I think a couple times, actually, Lenny looked at him and went to him, and they kind of had him covered, and if he would have went to the other side, we had something. So, we just got to watch that we don't become consumed with getting the ball just to Walt, which we're not. We had 7 receivers play. All 7 of them played well. Swaneek made some plays. Colby Hughes made some plays. Allen on the 1 3rd down short pass and run that, he really scored a touchdown on that they didn't give us. We had a lot of big plays in the pass game.
I like too is what Lenny is so, he gives credit to everybody. It's just not Lenny. We know Lenny is Lenny, but when he talked with us on the postgame show, he said, I didn't play a good first half. He said, I made some mistakes, and there were some overall. But as you said, I think you told us too before the second half began, you guys were pretty confident that you would come out strong in the second half, and you established what you wanted to do.
Well, I think we left them in the game by not executing the things that we normally execute. Like going into the game, we were number 1 in the country in turnover ratio. Well, now all of a sudden we fumbled the ball twice in the first half, which we don't do. And then one was on our own 3-yard line. The sprint pass to Dwayne Brown, the little trick play we had on the backside of Unbalanced, we knew it would be there. We had it called at the perfect time. We just didn't execute it. I mean, it was there. If we execute it, it's a touchdown. And, we at that point it was 12-7. We would have went up 19-7. So it was just hit and miss a little bit here and there. We thought we were the better team. And when push came to shove, we always thought that, we're going to be able to run the ball. We're going to wear them down and run it, which we did in the second half. And then off of that, with play action, we hit a play action pass for the touchdown to Swaneek. And, we were kind of on our way. So it was a close game at the half, and we kind of let them stay in it there by us not executing, but we were still in control of the game.
Yeah. We talked about how you control the clock, possession, that sort of thing, offensive line. It's just been tremendous. You got even the chance to get Gabe Diaz, get some action this year to give you more depth. You had him in there. Maybe talk about them a little bit.
Oh, our offensive line's been terrific all year. Joe Peterson went down. We had Kenny Roman come in. Now we got Gabe Diaz back. Eventually, Joe will be back. We'll have 7 or really 8 because we have Dauberman now in at guard playing some. So we have 8 offensive linemen that we feel comfortable with when Joe comes back. And, people don't realize we run the ball very well, and they're a big part of that. But also, we don't give up many sacks. And part of it's Lenny. I think there was 2 plays where a normal quarterback would have been sacked.
He had 2 fabulous
plays.
And
the one was where he got off the tackle and threw the drive route to Don McNeil. It was a low throw. Don made a great catch, made a first down on 3rd down. And the other 3rd down was the one on the last drive where we kept the ball a lot. He broke out of a tackle, a sack, rolled to his right and hit Swaneek coming across for a first down so we could continue that drive. Our offensive line's really the bread and butter to what we do offensively, both in the run game and the pass game.
Mm-hmm. What a crowd, huh? I mean, the crowds have been great, but this is the first time in a long time I know that I've seen where the crowd was really participating, calling out defense, standing when the defense came off to make a play, giving them over. And your players were in it too, exhorting everybody.
Right.
They just made for a great day.
Obviously, when we started this whole thing, our motto was all in, and that's what we meant by it. We wanted the fans, the community, the university, our alumni. We had probably over 100 former players on the sideline.
There were many.
During the game. And that's what we envisioned when we took over in January, to try to get it to where we have everybody all in. Our crowds have been great. And a lot of people don't realize it, but the players are really in tune to when we have a big crowd and the crowd's into it. They're really on top of that. And it really does give them a little more juice and a little bit more energy. And Saturday was off the charts. And we've had great crowds all year, but Saturday was special.
Next challenge, Slippery Rock. What else can you say? 2 undefeated teams, national rankings both way, longtime rivals. You're going to probably see a same type offense as you saw with Cal. A very good quarterback, 2 outs, 2 better receivers probably than you saw this week. So be a terrific matchup. And then on the other hand, they've got to deal with you guys that have been very balanced all year. This should be a heck of a game.
Well, it lines up like that, absolutely. We've got to get some things corrected in our kicking game, and offensively, defensively, and special teams wise. We like our matchups with them. They're 6-0. I give them credit. They've won 3 games by less than 3 points, and they won all 3 of them on the last series. 2 of them they had to score to win or extend the game, and then against Mercyhurst, they had to stop Mercyhurst last week on the last series to win the game. So they're playing well. They're 6-0. They've won 3 close games, and they've got a lot of weapons. They're very explosive on offense. The quarterback, the 2 receivers, Ray and Johnson, are probably the 2 best receivers in the league. And, they score a lot of points. I'm not quite sure what their average in a game, but it's got to be up there.
It's in the California zone.
And the quarterback's done a great job. This is, he's a 5th-year senior transfer from Youngstown State. So he's an older kid with experience. And he's really taken their offense and has run with it, making great throws, good decisions. Very impressed with their offense. Their defense will play really hard. They try to create a lot of turnovers. They take chances. They'll try to pressure the quarterback. But they will play very hard on defense and in the special teams.
Yeah, and we didn't even mention Marcus Martin on defense.
Well, yeah, when you talk about their defense, obviously Marcus Martin on the edge, he's a handful. Really, in the pass game, he's a major handful. He's also a good run player. But, in the pass game, you have to be ready for him, because we think we will be able to throw the ball, but if we can't protect them, if we can't protect Lenny, and we have trouble with Marcus Martin, then we're going to have problems.
Well, let's encourage these all-in fans to head north. It's a short trip. It's going to be a good day. It's homecoming up there. We know what that crowd's going to be like. So you'll be, but this is what when you're trying to win a championship, this is what happens, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, we talked about going into Cal. If you want to be the champion, you got to beat the champion. You have no right to say you're the champion until you do that. Well, now we're into the next phase. We're going up against a team that wants the same thing that we want, and they're 6-0. We're 6-0. It's at their stadium, homecoming, rivalry game. We'd love to make Slippery Rock, Indiana North up there on that one side of the stadium there, and get a huge crowd to come up from Indiana and from the Pittsburgh area, our alums and former players and fans. So I'm sure we'll have a great following. This football team really cherishes going on the road and playing. I know we've played 5 home games, but we've played a lot of tough road games here the last couple of years, and a lot of these guys have been playing for us. So they're well tested, and we're not scared to go play on the road.
Yeah. Well, hey, have a good week of practice. We'll have Saturday come before you know it, and we'll have some fun.
Thanks,
okay?
Jack.
Okay, Coach. Thank you. Coach Paul Tortorella, it's a 2:05 kickoff Saturday at Slippery Rock, and we'll have all the radio and the TV coverage for you, so be sure to tune in. Better yet, come to the game and cheer on this Crimson Hawks team. Jack Benedict for the coach. Have a nice evening.